Hey guys, welcome to May 2024 Project Life, where I'm beginning with a phone spread, and I'm going to be making a little accordion with these. These were from the Week in the Life Ali Edwards digital release. They were in a template, so I just printed them out, and I also printed a back out just by filling the whole thing in with black. And then I went ahead and printed the photos out that I'm going to be placing on top of the phone background. And these are all screenshots. I had a lot of screenshots in May. I actually had to just pick which ones I wanted to use because I had more than this. So I picked them out, and I'm going to add them into the spread with this little accordion. So let's get started putting these together. I'm going to be using washi tape, and I chose a darker colored one. You're not going to really see it, but just in case, I chose a darker one. Going to be putting these together by just putting washi tape across the back and making sure they fold both ways, because right now as I'm doing this, I'm not entirely sure which way each of these, how they're connected, which way it's going to fold. So I just need to get all four of these together with washi tape, and then I'll figure out what direction the accordion is going to go in based upon how I'm going to be adding it into my rings of my album. So I'm just kind of putting these together. You'll see I do put them together and take them apart a few times because I'm trying to line them up as closely as I can. Actually, I cut these out on my silhouette exactly for that reason, because I knew if I fussy cut them out that they may not be exact. So I decided that I would just print and cut from the silhouette using the print and cut feature. So here are the four, and I am going to be putting other phone backgrounds on the back of these. So all of them are going to be filled, with the last one being the black piece that represents the back of my phone. So what I wanted to tell you is that I didn't necessarily need to print and cut out the backs separately from the photos. Originally, these photos were going to go on top like this, and I was going to slide journaling between the back and the photo. But then I changed my mind, and I already had everything cut out, so I just went with it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use a page attacher from Citrus Twist in order to put the holes onto the phone. And once I get that on there, I am going to go ahead and start adhering the photos to the rest of the phone backgrounds. And you're also going to see here that I forgot that I did some journaling with 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I wanted the photos to be in a particular order, and I messed up. So you'll see that as I'm going through and putting the photos on the background, that I actually end up going ahead and removing some and moving them around because I wanted the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to be in a particular order. So on that background there, that's the last part, I'm going to put this black piece, and that is going to represent the back of my phone. I'm probably going to end up putting something on there, but right now I'm not really sure what that will be. And then on the top, it needs to be the face of my phone, which is the screen that I see when I open my phone. And that I want to be the first thing that is seen. Kind of like a really fun thing for, this is what the screen of my phone looks like when I first open it up right now. And that changes, right? I move different icons around and things change. So once I have the back on and the first one on, I'm just kind of seeing how this is going to open. I'd like to put a tab on it, but with the way that I have it set up with the four, the outer edge will not be an open edge, it will be a crease. So that is going to make me have to figure out where to put the tab. But in the meantime, here are the four front ones, and I'm going to go ahead and put my photos on there. As you can see in the video, as I'm doing this, I had to remove some of the photos from the other backgrounds because of the order that I want them to be in. My journaling is on one of the cards, and I have them numbered 1 through 5. So I put 1, 2, and 3 on this side, and then that last one was the journaling piece, and then 4 and 5 will go on this side. Those numbers are from my stash. I cut them. They are plastic, and I cut them down to like a 1 1/4 inch circle. and I'm just kind of stapling them onto different places on the photos. That way the photos are numbered and the journaling is numbered and everything kind of matches together for the viewer to be able to see, hey, what's going on in that picture. So that is the reason why they have to be in a certain order and numbered in a certain way. So that is it. I'm just going to cut off these little edges here, and then it will all be done except for the tab. And like I said, the tab's going to have to go on the top. And I don't add it on here because I do want to put something inside of it, but it needs to be on the top, and you can see how that is because of the way it opens up. I'm totally okay with that. Totally okay with that. And I really like the way it turned out. Okie dokie. Well, that was fun. And now let's turn our attention to the remainder of the spreads that I'm going to have for the month of May. And I have a collection of random photos that just happened throughout the month, along with this 6x8 The Details page. So that's all going to go together. That'll be next in line. And then I have all of the stuff from my 35th class reunion. I used 2 of the May Stories tags. I have this Come Together pleather piece that's been in my stash forever. And then another big chunk of photos with another one that I'm going to put in sideways, and then a full page one that is going to be the introduction to that particular story. And then I have a special story dedicated to my girlfriends with a couple different papers here, and I'm not really sure which one I am going to use. So I put them all here, and I'll make my decision as I move through putting everything together. This is a photo. I used a similar one before, so I'm not doing a lot of journaling. I did leave space for some embellishments. Another story about a colleague who left our district, and I have a journal card, some journaling, and then a little note that he wrote me. Probably going to use a pocket for that one. And then last is a story of my buddy Ryan, and I have this art media mixed media print paper from Etsy, and then some photos that he shared with me, along with a photo of me and him. So these are going to all go into the album. I'm not really sure if the phone is going to be first or not, but let's begin with this first one. Again, using the pockets from April, I am going to be putting my stories in a particular order as they are numbered on the paper. So I have to kind of know which story is going to go where in the pockets, because although chronological doesn't bother me, I do have the stories numbered. Pulling out the May Stories by the month stamp, as well as an older set of number stamps, I am going to use yellow ink to stamp the numbers 1 through 6. And those numbers are going to represent each of the photos and kind of help the reader to match the photo to the story. So we'll do 1 through 6, and then on top of those, I am going to go ahead and use the stamp from the May Story Stamp Kit to put May Looked Like This on top of each of those numbers using a different colored ink for each one. So you'll see there that I kind of put them in a little bit of an order in order to kind of mix up the oranges and the reds and the greens and the blues. And I'm stamping directly on top of the numbers that I have already stamped. And then I'll go ahead once I am done stamping those, and I am going to use my circle punch. And I believe it is a 1 3/4 inch punch where I am going to punch out each of these, being careful with, I don't want them right in the middle because I'd like some of these to hang off the edge of the photos. So I'm kind of thinking as I'm doing this, what side of the photo will these be placed on? And that's how I determine what side of the circle punch I punch closer to. Okay, now you're going to see here in just a couple seconds, I'm putting these on now with just rolling adhesive and a tiny attacher, but you'll see in a couple seconds that the video cuts out because, I don't know, something technologically happened and the next part of my May pages was completely cut off. So you'll see them at the end, but in the meantime, I'll move on to this story about me and my colleague and him leaving our district to go to another district. This is a 3x3 page of journaling that I printed, and I'm going to cut down this 3x4 journal card so that they can go back to back. I stamped the date on top of the journaling. I will adhere these two back to back, and I'm going to use a piece of a page protector, a 3x3 pocket, but I'm going to cut a little bit off the top so that this hangs out, and then I will add my little card from him in there as well. As for the photo of me and my friends, I will go back and forth a little bit about what piece I want to put above us and I guess between the journaling and our heads. And I choose the one with the rainbow because it's fun and I love it. So this one was super, super simple, just using a little score tape to add that. I did put a little silver brad in the hole as well. I'll adhere those back to back, and then I will go ahead and punch my holes and place that into my album. So that one was super, super easy. You'll also see at the end that I do add some things to some of my pages, and I will go over all of the additions when I get to the last pages because I think of some things after the fact. It comes to me after I'm looking at them and I decide to kind of change my mind, and when I thought it was enough, then I say, nope, it wasn't. So, alrighty, put a little tab sticker on these. Again, you saw my bowl of little tabs that I printed out. So I put little tabs sticking off of those. And this is the story about Ryan. I have that mixed media print where I have the journaling and the title printed out on vellum, and I'm going to put these photos into a pocket. So I will adhere the vellum on top of the mixed media piece, punch my holes, and then I will go ahead and I will actually run that through my sewing machine because my sewing machine is out, and I thought that that would be a fun thing to do, just to, again, add a little bit more dimension to the page. And you'll see here that I added some orange thread around the outside, and I thought that was just a fun addition there as well. So turning our attention to the photos, this is a pocket with two 3x4 slots in it, but it's old and the circles or the holes don't match. So I'll go ahead and trim that off, and then I will get a citrus twist page attacher, and I will decide where I want that to lay, and then I will add a page attacher replacing the holes that were there before. So that is always something you can do. Slide the pictures in and then put that there for the end. And that is the end of my May pages. And then, let's take a look and see what everything looks like when it is in the album. For the first one, you can see I did not make any changes except for adding that Be Messy and Complicated card. And I believe that was also from the May kit. And then you flip over the 3x8 pocket page and you can get a closer look there at my journaling. Each story, once again, not worried about whether they are in chronological order. Just get the stories told. Moving on to my pages about the reunion. This is something that you did not see. This is where the video cut out. So I have my full page photo with the journaling typed directly on the bottom of the page. And then I just put a sticker tab above the journaling on the right-hand side. I put a little tiny attacher in there, but really it's just adhered down with rolling adhesive. And then I have several different sized page protectors. The first one is the 3-pocket one from Citrus Twist. And you'll see that I also cut off little ends of some of Ali Edwards' little labels, and I numbered everything 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to, I believe it's the number 10 or 11, I think it is. And that matches with the purple May Stories tag, and I have everything numbered there, so you can look at the corresponding tag and then move over and look at the photo to see who is in it. I used the Ali Edwards newly released monthly 6x8 stamp set to do those numbers as well. I have my photo of the people who showed up for the reunion. It says class of 89. And then on the back side, it's a picture of me and my girlfriends. One of the things I wanted to point out here was, if you take a look at the journaling card that I used there, it was a 3x4 from the May kit. I only typed so far up and I cut it down. But what the fun thing is that I took one of the sentiments from the May stamp set and I curved it along my acrylic block so that it would be in the same curve as that wonderful, colorful little swipe at the bottom, and that was a fun thing to do. So here is a quick look at how the phone folds out. This is kind of like an accordion style, how it comes out. And then the next photo is going to show you what all of the screenshots or the phone screenshots are on the one side. The third one there is the description of each of the screenshots. So we have 1, 2, and 3 on this side. And then when you flip over, you will see 4 and 5. And then, of course, the back of the phone. So that one screenshot is from my Notes app, and I just kind of type my journaling on there automatically. So once I close the phone and I flip it over, I did add a die cut piece from One Little Word onto the back of the phone. For my spread about my colleague, I just added some tabs to the top of the card and the little note that he wrote me. So that kind of lets the viewer take a look, and there is the journaling on the other side of the 3x4 card that I cut down to 3x3. So that kind of lets you pull it out and take a look at it. I did stamp the date on top of the rainbow on the chipboard piece on the page with me and my friends. And then I stamped the dates on the photos from Ryan. So those were the changes I made. I believe here I also may have added 2 chipboard pieces below the journaling as well. So this time I did have quite a bit of changes after I went off camera, but that's what happens sometimes for me. And when I'm making those changes, I just, I'm thinking, I don't really need to pull the camera back out again. I can just kind of explain to everybody what changes I did make. So that was May. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment. Thanks so much for watching today, and I will see you guys in my next video.